So here is a strange question for you. Have you ever thought that dancing tango can make you more attractive, more charismatic? Well, in this video, I'm going to tell you not 10 different ways, starting from the small ones to the bigger ones, how tango actually transforms you into a more attractive and charismatic person. And how do I know? I hear you asking. Well, I think I can see it in myself. Welcome to Good Night Tango. I'm Christos. I'm dancing tango for 9 years now, and for the last 4 years, I'm also writing about that in my blog. I know that it may sound a bit strange to tell you that just by going and dancing tango, you appear to be more attractive. But yeah, it's not that you are changing your appearance. It's not something that has to do with your appearance. It's more about your behavior and your attitude that changes and makes you more attractive. So without further ado, the first thing that makes you more attractive just by starting tango is that you have a hobby and you have an obsession. The more you become into tango and obsessed with tango, the more passionate you become, the more, this becomes part of your life. And people who are generally having a hobby apart from their work and they are dealing with many different things and they are passionate about these things, actually show this when they go into a conversation, when they have a discussion. And having this different view or having these experiences that you can share from dancing or whatever else actually makes you an interesting person just by itself. The second element that makes you attractive just by learning tango is that you show commitment. Tango is not something easy to start learning and dancing and become good at it. So it takes time, it takes commitment, it takes effort, energy. And people who are showing this kind of commitment, they signal to other people that, I'm somebody who can show up, I have the discipline and I have the ability to show up and do what I need to do in order to reach a goal. I'm not somebody who you cannot trust in, and I'm not somebody that just says something today and does something different tomorrow. I am somebody who is committed and I can follow on my commitment and do and work on this objective. And this automatically makes you definitely more trustworthy and attractive to persons outside the tango community in general. By the way, if you find interesting the ideas in the video and if you find me attractive, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and who knows, share this video with somebody who thinks that they are not attractive. It will definitely help them, I guess. So let's move on. Now, the third byproduct thing that you learned from tango and you transfer in your life and you become more attractive is that you learn to be present in all your relationships. When you dance with somebody, you have 10 minutes in the tanda that you have to be really present with them. You are in close proximity, you have to feel their body, feel how they move, react to that, lead, follow, all these kind of things. And automatically, this trains you on being present in other cases in your life, in other situations in your life. When you have a meeting, when you have a discussion, you learn to become more present and show that you are interested in what the other person says. And because you show that you understand and you are present and you participate in the discussion, in the interaction with somebody else, it makes you more likable because you show that you like the other person, you show that you like what they say, you're present, you're with them. This automatically makes them like you. It's kind of counterintuitive, but in order for people to like you, and that is proven by studies, you need to like them as well. So the more people you like, the more people like you as well back. So being present and showing interest in what other people say and when you are in any kind of situation automatically gives you back this kind of likability and attraction from other people. And this element of present doesn't come alone. The fifth thing that actually makes you attractive to other people in your interactions outside of tango is that you learn to be comfortable with pauses, with silences. In tango, we learn to pause and enjoy the music and enjoy the embrace with somebody else and learn how to really live this moment and celebrate that moment. In real life, we learn to be comfortable when we have a discussion and there is this micropause of some seconds, and you don't feel anxious to fill up that space with saying something just to fill that space. You just let it sink in, and yeah, the conversation will start maybe later. And if it doesn't start, you still feel comfortable, but by being there and being present and not really saying anything, you still feel comfortable in that silence. That kind of attitude, that kind of calm, comfort in silence is something that really signals attraction, attracts people to you. This leads to a general sense of being comfortable in your own skin. When you are with other people in close proximity or interactions in meetings, in work, in a relationship, whatever, whenever you are in other situations, you don't feel stressed of needing to perform, needing to do something, needing to impress people around you. You just feel comfortable the way you are. You just feel comfortable to be in that space, and you learn to accept that. And this signals, again, attraction. People are not only attracted to the loudest in the room, but they also are attracted to the silent people in the room, to the quiet people in the room that don't signal anxiety. It's a different thing to be silent in a room or quiet in a room while you check your phone or you try to find something to do and you are fidgeting and doing different things. It's different being quiet in a room and feeling comfortable with that. It's a sense that people can see that and can say, okay, this guy feels comfortable being alone, doing nothing, so he must be it is interesting, it is something interesting, and attracts attention. Having said that, the sixth element is that you not only learn how to be present, but you also learn how to be a better listener. Regardless of the role that you're dancing, maybe if you're a follower, it's a different kind of thing. I know that for the leaders it may be different, but the more you progress, the more you realize that you have to start listening to your partner. And this interaction that you have in tango doesn't play out well if you're not listening to your partner and reacting to what they tell you. So you learn that this kind of communication, this communication with somebody else cannot happen just by speaking all the time. You learn how to also listen and really understand what the other person says and react to them. It's a different kind of listening when you listen to just react and say, speak your mind. And it's a different thing when you listen to understand somebody and empathize with somebody. So this kind of listening, which is missing many times from our today's world, it's something that is quite rare nowadays. And people, when they see it, they find it really attractive. And this goes together with the seventh item in the list, which is that you develop empathy. You develop empathy because you start listening, and as I said, you start listening to understand and to offer back just this understanding to other person. You don't need to offer always solutions to the other persons. You don't always need to offer your own opinion to the other person. You just sometimes need to be there, understand, and say, okay, I get you. That's all. And I understand how you feel. And that's all. Sometimes people don't need any solution, don't need any opinion, any second opinion or anything else. They just want to vent, they just want to speak out, say their problems, and they just need somebody to be there and just listen, hold that space and just listen to them. Through tango, because you learn to do that when you dance, you learn somehow to do that when you communicate with other people as well. Somehow it transfers to the rest of your communications, and you start becoming more empathetic to other people. And on the way of developing this empathy with other people and the sensitivity to other people, you learn to master and understand body language and silent communication. I mean, in tango, when we want to dance with somebody and when we dance with somebody, we learn to experience, understand how the other person feels just by the embrace, their posture, their movements, their reaction to our movements, all these kind of elements. These are all non-verbal communications. And the more you train on doing that in tango, the more you start noticing these to the outside world, to your everyday life. So you walk into a meeting and you see somebody who is a little bit maybe silent, a little bit more quieter, maybe feels, you see in their face or in their posture that they feel a little bit depressed or anxiety or whatever else. You automatically understand that much better when you see that outside of tango, because you experience it in tango and you are trained to understand that in tango and sometimes mirror it. So you approach this in a different way when you go from that perspective. Before we go any further, let me know in the comments, have you noticed in yourself some changes in your attitude coming from tango that actually in the end make you more attractive? I'm really curious, is it just me or I don't know. And as we reach towards the last two items, there's the ninth element that actually I think is one of the strongest elements that makes you attractive outside of tango as well, is that during the learning process, and if you progress and develop yourself in tango, you learn how to handle your mistakes, how to handle your mishaps in tango. Not only when you dance, but also during the learning process. You learn how to handle the mistakes and how to communicate maybe when you have a conflict, maybe how to laugh it out when it happens in the milonga. And this kind of behavior and this kind of attitude towards your errors, towards your mistakes, towards the miscommunication and all this is something that it is really attractive in the outside world. When you laugh out on your own mistakes, on your own problems or whatever else, you automatically signal to the people around you a sense of confidence. You automatically signal that I'm quite confident that, okay, this mistake doesn't mean anything for me. I can laugh about it. I can laugh at myself. I can laugh about the mistake that I did, and I can go on. I can move on, and I don't have a problem with that. This is sometimes something that we forget about it in the everyday life. Sometimes we get ourselves too serious and we think that when somebody tells something bad or when we have something, a miscommunication with somebody, we automatically jump into them and we want to react and we want to fight. But using tango and using the metaphor of how you react when something similar happens in tango, when you dance with somebody, you can understand that the reaction from the tango interaction is something that is much more human, it's much more confident, and inevitably in the end, it's much more attractive. And the last element in this list, which I think kind of summarizes more or less many of the different attitudes that we already said, when you are comfortable with poses, when you are developing empathy, when you listen better, when you are present with your people with other people in your interactions, all this in the end learns you to cultivate this kind of calm confidence. In the end, it makes you a person that it is quite calm, quiet, but also confident, not anxious. You enter spaces, you enter in the meetings, you enter in the work, you enter in parties or wherever else, and you don't feel the anxiety and you don't feel the stress to perform, to show up, to say that, okay, hear me out, I'm here, I have to be loud and I have to be heard. You learn to be calm and radiate a confidence that I am calm and I am who I am and I'm confident with who I am. And this automatically makes you attractive. As I said, you don't need to be the loudest person in the room to be attractive and to attract the attention. Sometimes when you're just silent, quiet, reflective, present, people are attracted more to you than just being loud and not hearing anybody around you. So here we are. If you thought that tango is just a dance and you will just learn steps and figures and nothing else, maybe you're missing out something. If you really dive into tango, you start becoming eventually a more attractive person in your everyday life. And if you want to know why I think tango fits very well for introverted personalities, this video over here explains it in more detail. Check it out and don't forget to move forward both in the dance floor and in your life. Bye.